How did you get your job at the Fortune 500 company once you were a property manager?
I was in a position out of nowhere where I was hiring people, I was firing people, I was a manager. So I had to look at it like I was hiring myself. You look at your resume, and I'm a stickler for it. There are some great websites out there. I use resume.io. It's awesome. There are some great resume programs out there that cost little to no money, and you can make a resume that's visually appealing. Working on the resume is one thing, but also working on your strategy for applying is another. Most companies, especially now, are really using recruiters pretty heavily. I typically wouldn't go towards a recruiter. You got to be careful which, recruiting agencies you approach. That's how I landed where I'm at. I went to a recruiting agency. I said, "Hey, here's my resume." I had an interview with the recruiter. So they do like all the preliminary stuff. So they get a feel for you, your personality, your ambition, all that kind of stuff. And then they take your resume and they say, "Hey, X and Y company, we think he'd be a great fit." That makes things so much more painless, but also I think with the job search, and I see this on TikTok every day of people that are just getting lost and feeling like there is no end to this application merry-go-round. It gives you a sense of gratification. Some progress will give you the ambition to continue. Fortunately for me, I was still in my role when I made this, job transition. So that made a big difference with the anxiety levels and things like that. But if I had to do it all over again, if I was out of a job, that's the direction I'd go 9 times out of 10. You'll apply to 10 recruiting agencies and maybe get 2 calls back, whereas you might apply to 100 on ZipRecruiter and get 0.
That is so smart. That strategy has never occurred to me, mostly because it's not something I have a lot of experience with the agencies. I think that the question people are going to probably have is the same one that I have now, which is if you don't have a degree and you're going to self-eliminate, a lot of people I bet think that you can't apply to a recruiting agency unless you have a college degree. So what would be your advice for how did you fix your resume so that you thought that they would be likely to call you back at all?
I think the cool thing was that the recruiter, see, these recruiters, they operate off of a commission off getting you hired. They want to get you hired. They hear somebody come in, they're like, awesome. No, they're like a used car salesman. They want you to look good. I sent my resume to my recruiter, and God bless her, she sent it back and she was like, here's some edits you need to make. She gave me pointers. She said, here is a resume that I thought did really well. Here is yours. Here are the changes I want to see. And we think this is going to be awesome. She helped me through that. And it was pretty awesome because, like I said, they want you to get hired. And not many people are lining up these recruiters' doorsteps anymore because we've got apps like ZipRecruiter and Indeed that are taking the recruitment process out of these recruiters' hands. But they have massive companies contacting them on a daily basis that are anxious to hire people. So they're putting pressure on these folks to get you hired. That was by far the best part. But also having a recruiter gives you a point of contact. If you're ever nervous about, I applied for this job, I want to see where I'm at in the status. And you're like, I'm not going to call them because what if they think I'm pestering them or I'm annoying or whatever? This gets rid of that. I could call my recruiter and be like, hey, it's been like 6 days since I heard from you guys. Where's my application at? And she gave me, the rundown. Like, yeah, it's in their hands. They thought it looked good. We're going to set up a follow-up interview. Or, hey, haven't heard anything back on my side either.
Wow, that is going to be super valuable to people. How did you find that recruiter? I think I probably know the answer, but I would like to hear you tell people. So imagine no one's ever done this, someone's never done this. Then they don't have your mindset, which is huge. I struggle with this too, but they don't have your mindset and they're going, okay, I'm going to go give my resume to a recruiter. Where do they find that recruiter?
Be wary because there are quite a few that will try and get you into an MLM or some kind of scheme. So you do have to meter them. There are some great lists online that you can go to. The one I applied with was a massive organization. And Hannah, after this, I can get you their details, but they are a global organization. There are national ones. There are recruiting agencies that are recognized by government agencies, by Fortune 500 companies, and they're the resource. If you can find one of those, that's the best way. But honestly, if you Google, find like Forbes has a list of them, I'm pretty sure. So do ZipRecruiter and Indeed, ironically enough.
And just double check everybody, do your due diligence, like Quinn says, so that you don't go to one that's trying to. Also, if they ask you for money, that's not a recruiting agency. That's a scam.